Chaminda. I apologize if I'm butchering your name. Hey, Ghost. She wants to know if we would like to. I would like to know if you think Evolve will be the next awesome, gobsmacking, new must-have multiplayer game, or will it be a flash-in-the-pan type of thing where it dies out after a couple of days of glory?
Ooh. Did he say gobsmacking as well?
He did say gobsmacking, so that's like you get...
He's either British or he's nicked it from me.
50 million points of glory from Scott.
Yeah, there you go. Good question, because we were questioning this, weren't we, a little bit, whether it's got the longevity of like Left 4 Dead or something. It's something that we're a little bit worried about, I think, because it's 5 players, which again is a weird number. We got the creature sounds a little bit odd, as in it seems a little bit overpowered, perhaps. So as long as it's particularly like very, very even, I guess, between the humans and the monster, I think it could work, and it could. I don't want to say support it as well with like DLC content, perhaps like more maps, and there's enough maps and creatures to be with, and enough weapons to like customize.
Because there are multiple creatures. It's not just that one that we've seen.
Yeah, so that's definitely a plus. But yeah, it's got to have to be very, very good. It's going to have to be like a Left 4 Dead. Would it be between Left 4 Dead actually at E3? Talking about that.
Oh yeah, Left 4 Dead 3. That's one that Valve probably will show. I would that could be. You know what? That could be an Xbox One exclusive too.
No.
No.
It's got to be on Steam as well, at least.
Well, I mean a console exclusive.
Okay.
I can see Microsoft paying for that. But in terms of Evolve, to me, like, regardless if the game is good or not, I think the longevity factor is going to be very much affected by the fact that getting 5 people together is very weird. And
weird number, isn't it?
It's a weird number, and if you have 2, there's not like it's very easy in Call of Duty to play with your buddy and like do multiplayer, any of the modes, and feel like you're able to work together, have fun together, all good. But 2 of you in Evolve could be massively frustrating if you're playing with 2 idiots who are running around crazy and alerting the monster and getting swallowed every 5 seconds. Like, to me, it's relying so much on players either being very good or having a big group of friends that all have next-gen consoles, all have Evolve, all have online, all have headsets. Like, they're banking on so much. That's my biggest concern with the game, and it doesn't even involve the game. It's just the way it's played.
It's definitely a big factor for me, the number of players, and being on Xbox Live for more than like an hour, you notice people that are just annoying. Yeah, and you tend to mute people quite a bit, quite often, because they just scream down the mic, or it's young children down the mic or something, and I don't know. Yeah, it depends in your situation, I guess.
For sure. Don't get me wrong, I'm very excited for that game, and fingers crossed I'm going to be able to play a lot of it at E3. Another
I'm jealous.
Big what?
I'm jealous of that.
Oh, yeah. another big E3 game is Destiny, and Monte says, Ghost and Game Riot, do you think that Destiny would be better, even more intriguing, if it was third person instead of first person? And I thought this is a really good question, because with the new graphical power, like, obviously first person used to be the more immersive style, but do you think games like Batman, games like Infamous Second Son, do you think they benefit from being third person? Because we can see the character, we can see the fluidity of the animations, and that kind of makes it more fun than just like, oh, I see my arms moving in front of me.
I mean, it's a tricky question, because I think depending on the game and the sort of genre of the game, I think Infamous works because it's that sort of open world environment. I think Sunset Overdrive works like that as well, because you're sort of in that environment, aren't you? But I feel like, obviously being a shooter, you feel like you're the guy behind the mask almost. But also, just to touch on briefly, it does sometimes go into third person when you do like the specials and stuff. So you do get to see your character and like your loadout, your sort of customization as well. So that's something they've sort of done a bit of both. Yeah, but it's a shooter, so I think it does work better. I mean, as a first person shooter. Traditionally,
shooters are better in first person, but I'm gonna be the oddball here and say I think it would be better if it was third person, because to me the coolest moments of those trailers, of those gameplay, are when you do pull out and see your character doing some epic magic, futuristic spell-based attack. And I think that it might ground the game better. We've talked about it feels like something's missing. It feels a little bit empty from what we've seen so far. And I think maybe if it was in third person and you had more of your bearings around you, it might be a little bit better. And I would enjoy kind of the gameplay of you and your friends running around, seeing our characters, seeing the customization I've put on my guy, seeing my leveled up gun, seeing my loot and my armor at all times. I think, yeah, I personally would like that better.
I always, I don't know. I think it personally starts sneaking into the sort of MMO market a bit too much for my liking.
But isn't that what they're going for, really?
No, they're saying it's more of like an action game.
Well, I don't mean mechanically, but I just mean in terms of, oh, your character goes and lasts for possibly across multiple games.
I just think Bungie doing Halo, and I think they've experience. Yeah, I think it does depend on the game for me, but generally, I think stuff like we see with perhaps like the ALll, whether that works is like a sort of third person as well, maybe.
Yeah,
so how that works.
Elliot Murphy asks a very good question, and one that we've talked a lot about recently, which is, do you think, basically to sum up his question, it's quite long, basically, do you think the Wii U would have been more successful if it was released alongside the Xbox One and PlayStation 4? It still would have had, a big power advantage, but it would have been lumped into that hype cycle of next-gen new consoles and thought of as a new system rather than like this awkward placement in 2012.
No, I think it would have done worse.
Do you?
It would have been an absolute disaster.
You don't think that it would have then like, hey, because then you could have looked and said, do you want Xbox One with Dead Rising? Do you want PlayStation 4 with Killzone? Or do you want Wii U with Mario?
No, I think it would have gone completely wrong. I think apparently most of their sales were before the next gen come out as well, so that's what I've been hearing. But it's if they come out with the Wii U and it had a similar power to like at least the Xbox One, and it had third-party support, and then we start talking about it being a competition for those two consoles.
But what about the thing of like people saving their money for next gen, totally ignoring the Wii U because they were waiting for it? I
don't think anyone just ignored the Wii U and waited for next gen though. I think they got the Wii U if they were Nintendo fanboys. Not fanboys, they like Nintendo. There wasn't enough third-party support. I think the lack of games was an issue. And I don't think waiting would have been... I think it would have distracted away from that console completely.
I think all your points are totally valid and they might be true, but I do think like getting into that hype cycle of next gen would have benefited them, even if the system wasn't as powerful. Because look, like if you look at Mario 3D World, let's take Mario 3D World, and if you look at that, sure, it's not as realistic as Infamous or as realistic as, I don't know, Sunset Overdrive, but like visually, it's still just as crisp and pretty. So,
okay.
I don't know. I think if you're...
I mean, there's other issues with the console as well, with the online.
Oh, totally. But I'm just talking about, at first blush, like going into the store, if you're a mom buying for your kid for Christmas, I think they could have almost like piggybacked off of the hype of Microsoft and Sony, even though their system didn't have as much hype and garnered more sales.
I reckon the kid, though, would be like, I want a 360 even, or...
Yeah.
I want an Xbox One because it's just come out. Let's ignore it. It's not unless they really liked Mario or they liked I can't think of a Wii exclusive now. Was it Nintendo Land? I don't know. I mean, I'm literally running out of ideas, but yeah, I think I would have struggled even more personally. I don't know. I know what you mean.
I just also wonder that if they would have got more third-party games had it released simultaneously. Like
it's not strong enough though, is it? That's the problem. If they put even like Call of Duty Ghosts.
But they could have, because cross-gen games would have been easy, right?
Well, first of all, they were in a massive hard drive in there. They can't have this 32 gigabyte
that's true.
In there, which is useless. I mean, I put like one game on it and that's it. I mean, really? I mean, the first one wasn't the first one. I got the white one for some reason. I don't know why. And that's got 8 gigabytes on it. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, well, we will never know. But what we do know is that our final question comes from Oliver Johnson, and he basically just suggests that Nintendo makes a Pokemon Snap for the Wii U, where then you use the gamepad as the camera, which I think is a brilliant idea, and I would love to see them do something like that. It's kind of a smaller title, but did you ever play Pokemon Snap?
I didn't actually. I played a lot of the Game Boy Advance games and stuff like that, but I never really got.
I'm gonna have to when I come to England later this year. I'm gonna have to give you a lesson on Nintendo, and we're gonna go through the eras and play all the fun games. If you guys want to send your questions in, again, it's Game Riot. No, it's ghostrobo@gmail.com.
Cool.
Subject line podcast. You can follow Game Riot though at twitter.com/GameRiotArmy, where he will share pictures of his tortoise and tell you about his survival tales as he is home alone this week. You can follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/ghostrobo. And yeah, it's getting very exciting. We're 4 weeks from E3, and this is like my favorite time of the year. So thank you for being
a lot of buzz,
part of it, Scott.
Yeah. No problem. It's a lot of fun, this one. There's a lot of stuff to discuss. Sorry if it went a bit too long.
I love it when it's long.
Thank you for watching all the way to the end of the podcast. Just a massively long discussion about everything to do with E3, gaming and what we're playing and stuff. And I'm enjoying this podcast so much. It's actually becoming one of my highlights of the week. So I really hope they continue to do well on YouTube and stuff. And obviously go and check out Ghost Robo, link in the description. Check out our Twitters, @Ghost Robo, and obviously @Game Rights Army. I do appreciate all the support. And I will see you soon for the next one. Bye-bye.